We all know this stuff has got so expensive, particularly at Chanel. You know, I talk about Chanel a lot. Chanel is one of my favourite brands, my absolute favourite brands, but they've become so expensive that it's put me off. But how can you still get that look and get it for less? Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So you want to dress designer, let's say, or you want to dress in a way that makes you look more expensive, more put together. And how can you do that on a lower budget? Because it is really difficult. And well, it can be anyway, but I've got loads of different images that I personally collect up. So when I'm going around the internet or on social media, if I see an image of an outfit that I absolutely love, I always screenshot it and then I keep it on my phone and it gives me inspiration for different looks. But all of these outfits are designer. And the question is, how can you get these outfits for less but still get the vibe of that outfit? And I've got some really good tips here, but actually the main thing is, beyond the tips I'm going to give you, I've got some things I'm going to show you which are going to blow your mind. Like, for example, this cute little Chanel style bag it feels like leather and it's very pale pink with a chain top handle. I also have got, where have I got them? I've got a pair of Chanel style tweed shoes, which are so cute and they're so comfortable to walk in as well. These are really good. As well as I've got some other bags that I'm going to show you, and these bags are under £100. Some of them are like £40. It's incredible, and you can buy them globally, worldwide, so in your currency. But the first thing I would say is, when it comes to dressing more expensive, or specifically, actually this is probably less about dressing expensive, more about how to dress as though you look like you've stepped out of a Chanel boutique, is to find a brand that does clothes that are in that particular style. So for example, this is like a cropped off jacket that I'm wearing, and I'm going to model everything in this so you can see what it looks like. But this cropped off jacket is made out of a tweed material and the buttons on it are kind of like hammered metal. The details on this jacket are incredible, from the frayed edges to the hems. And this is something else you need to look out for, is when you find a brand that sells items that look very designer inspired, make sure the pieces are well made. And with these pieces, I can hand on my heart tell you that I've been wearing them, not this exact jacket, but this brand, which is Revivo, I've been wearing since last October, and their stuff hangs together, it washes really well, it's really good. So the first thing I would say is find a really good brand. And some options that I've got for you, besides the bag, which I've already shown you a quick visual of. But if you're looking at this and you're thinking, I've got a really big phone, is it actually going to fit in this bag? Yes, it will. I'm going to demonstrate here with a Samsung Galaxy Note 9, which is like the biggest phone you've ever seen in your life. I dropped this phone by accident and drove over it by accident because the phone was so big, it didn't stay in my bag and it fell out. It's a big phone, but if that phone can fit in any bag, then you know that you are safe. So that phone fits in here. It also fits in my favourite bag that I'm going to show you, which is this. Oh God, it feels like leather. It feels like the softest leather. It's not leather, but it feels like leather. It's magnetic opening and closing. And it's so, with both of these, they're both very Chanel vibes. And that's the other thing you need to add to your outfit, is if Chanel bags are out of your budget, because now they're like 10k for a jumbo classic flap, or 8,000 for a medium or something. If they're out of your budget, there are so many different bags that you can choose from, not even these, but if you did want something that Chanel vibes, then have a think about these, because they're really good and they're not expensive. Some other items that I'm going to show you that are also very designer inspired. The first is, well, the second, because the jacket is the first. The second is this. This is so Bottega in styling. I found an example which actually is a jumper that's not really that nice when I look at it, but there's something about it that really reminds me of this. Bottega has got very simple, clean lines. The items are all very, same with Chanel actually, the items are all very long wearing. They're all very timeless. There's nothing about their items that scream any one year. I'm sure some of their stuff looks like that. Like some of their shoes are a bit bizarre and don't really call to me that much. But some of their clothing, a lot of their clothing and Chanel, it's all very classic and long-term and timeless. And I've actually put that, as well as this jacket, with a pair of jeans, which are also from Urban Revivo. And this pair of jeans is nearly an exact dupe for these, which are from Dior, and they're over £1,000, these jeans. But what I love about both of these jeans is they have got like a sailor jean type silhouette, which if you happen to have a small waist and larger thighs, like for example with me, I've got a small waist but larger thighs. And I find that this cut of jean is incredibly flattering because it highlights your small waist, but it glides over the thighs, so it gives you a very slim silhouette. They're also very comfortable to wear, and these jeans that I'm showing you here aren't going to break the bank. I'm going to put the prices of everything in, but they're not expensive. The next thing, which is also very Chanel styling, is this. Some of you might remember this jumper, which is quite famous, I guess. It came out a couple of years ago in the spring summer collection, and that jumper, I went to look at it and it was over £6,000. It was like a cardigan. And if I'm going to be really honest about that cardigan, I think I filmed it. I'm pretty sure I filmed it and showed you. But the material was very thin and very flimsy. It wasn't, for £6,000, I would expect the fabric to feel quite, not thick as in warm because it's a summer cardigan, but I would expect it to feel a bit more substantial than it actually did. But if you liked that and you want something similar for summer, this is really nice. And close up, it's got kind of crochet details on it. So it's got that theme where it's very similar to that cardigan, but it's not exactly, but it's got like a beautiful shape to it and really nice colours in it. The other favourite thing for me, which reminded me of this, which is a Chanel suit, but it also reminded me of this, which is a Balmain suit. And it is a little suit also from Urban Revivo, as I've just mentioned. It's blue houndstooth, like a really pale blue. It's got really nice buttons down the front of it. See, this is another thing. If you want to dress like you wear designer, try and pick things where when you get close up, the detail looks really good. And one thing that you will notice on Chanel is you stand back and you look and it looks great. But when you get up close and you see the buttons, the stitching, the colours that go through the tweed, that's when you really notice the difference between a Chanel jacket and something from somewhere else. And with the jackets from Urban Revivo or the cardigans, they've got that. They've cottoned onto that, and their pieces have details when you get up close. For example, this is a really favourite cardigan of mine, and I don't know if it's going to show, but when you get up close, it's got AB crystal thread running through it. So in the light, it's kind of got that pearlescent, iridescent, those colours running through it, like a pastel rainbow kind of running through it, but it's very subtle. You only see it if you get up close, like really up close, but that's the kind of detail you need to look for. Another item, which is another favourite of mine, is this, which when I saw it, I thought this is really Rick Owens. And I like Rick Owens when it comes to being a lot more casual. And this is quite him, where it's got the twisted knot front on it. This is a really lovely material, but if you look at the back of it, this is another thing to look for. It's also really well tailored. It kind of cuts in on the waist. And if you're going to go and look for clothing that looks designer, make sure it's not see-through, make sure it's got detail when you get up close to it, as I was just mentioning, and make sure that it's cut well. The fabric is the most important thing, I want to say that. If you pick like a dress, let's say, and it's a gorgeous dress, but the fabric's see-through and the wind catches it and it blows up and it's just a pain to wear, it looks cheap. You've got to find a brand that typically does good fabric on all of their clothing. And then just a couple more items before I show you some bags in closer detail. This is another item which to me felt very, there was a brand, and if I can remember it, it's gone from my mind. There was a brand that make dresses that look very similar to this, kind of crossed with Prada. And when I saw this dress, it reminded me, it's the brand that's on Farfetch. Oh my God, the name's gone out of my head. It's a brand that's on Farfetch and it's not cheap. It's pretty expensive, but this is another dress which is very well made. The way it's sculpted, the way it's got pockets on the front of it. I don't know if that's showing. It's got little pockets on the front. They're not actual usable pockets. They're just for decoration. The zip down the front, but also the opening on the back, just there. Now, another bag which I wanted to show you, let me just undo it, and all of the bags come in a dust bag, by the way, well this one did anyway, is this, and this looks just like the Saint Laurent Lulu bag. You'll be amazed, look at that. It kind of does, it's not exactly there, it's not a copy, but there's something about it which is very, very close to what the Lulu bag looks like, really in this chevron design here. And this, again, this feels like a leather. It's got this lovely woven top handle on it. I really think, you know, with bags, if you are working your way up, or I know a lot of you have got bag collections, but you don't, like with me with the classic flap, I don't use that bag out because I'm worried about being robbed for it because it's so expensive now. I actually use a lot of bags that are lesser expensive when I'm going out, particularly if I'm doing like errands and things where I don't really want to take a designer bag. I use my bags a lot and I change them up a lot, but I also use my lesser expensive bags a lot at the same time. And this is the kind of thing that I would use this for. And I just think this looks really nice tied in with an outfit. And then the final thing is accessorize, accessorize, accessorize. When you've got your outfit put together, wherever you choose to get it from, make sure that you think about your accessories, because your accessories can be a way to elevate your outfit. And one thing that you can do, let's say you've got a designer belt and that's your collection so far and you're building your way up, but you've got a designer belt. Adding a designer belt to some of these looks would absolutely take it to the next level, and can actually, I think a belt's a really good thing to buy because you can wear it on any outfit, whether it's like over a coat or a jacket or on a pair of jeans, and it can transform your look and make it look like it could actually be designer. And in some ways it does that better than a designer bag. So I do think a belt's a good and affordable way of making your outfit look like it's worth more than it actually is. But think about your bag, think about your shoes. This pair of shoes I've already shown you, and this is like tweed, and if I try and show you close up, this is what I'm talking about. These shoes have got iridescent sort of bits of thread running through them, which when they catch the light, they're slightly glittery. Glittery is the wrong word, but they catch the light and it's got like a crystal effect to it, which is really, really beautiful. And it's the kind of thing that you only notice when you get up close. But that's the kind of thing which makes the difference between something that is cheap and inexpensive and something that is designer. And then another pair of shoes you could consider is, and you can also wear sneakers, you know, I wear sneakers a lot, but this is another pair you could consider. And I got these because they really remind me of Fendi did shoes like this. And they also did boots a couple of years ago, where the sole was wider than the actual shoe itself. And I think these look really cool on. The heel is not too high, they're very comfortable, and they're really, really worth getting. So there's two different shoes there for you to consider. But have a think about the shoes you've already got. I'm sure you've got loads of stuff that you can already use. If you want to come and join me in another video, I'm going to put a video here and a video here, and I hope that you will come and join me in a second. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.